Paul, let's take a trip down memory lane. I know recall is one of your strengths, isn't it? 18 months ago, your last trip to Cambridge, your first outing with Derby, of course. How do you remember it, if you do?
I remember it for many reasons, and this will be quite funny in the room. I remember the fact that we got to the dressing room and we had like 20 players and 52 staff in a normal sized changing room, so that was a bit intense for me on my first day. I thought, wow, so where are all these staff? It's like we had BBC Productions with us. So that was a bit odd. And then I remember saying to Rich the night before, we've got to try and get these to run. I knew they were really good football inside, excuse me, could keep the ball, but different games take different ways to play. So hoping they were going to run, and wasn't 100% sure how the game would go. But then I remember playing quite well, really, pressing from the front. I think Colo got 2 goals, and I remember leaving the pitch thinking, this is all right, isn't it? Seems all right, clean sheet, a win, piece of cake this. So it felt really good, yeah. I remember after the game speaking to David and Stephen down the side, and my wife was there. Obviously Cambridge isn't far from my home. So yeah, I just remember it feeling good and thinking, right, I felt settled in straight away. Once I got through the production team, it felt great.
Are you one generally to sort of ever sit down and think back about the journey that you've been on?
No, I'm not really that guy. Probably because you rightly said, tongue-in-cheek sort of, my memory isn't great. So not really. I just think I live for the day. That's it. Like in the team meeting in a minute, I'll speak to the lads about living in the day. There's not many times you have an amazing day. Like you have loads of good days, you have loads of bad days. Even more so in football management, you don't have many amazing days. Like literally, like you will never forget. And if we're fortunate enough to go to where we want to go to, the lads will, give everyone an amazing day. So I don't ever look back now. And in fairness, as my wife will definitely testify, I don't even have massive like promotion emotion or anything like that. She says I'm really dour. So like if we are successful, I will clap everybody and then get in my car and go home and sleep for about 3 weeks. So I never look back. No, I don't. I just always think, right, next. And then I think when the journey ends, so when the journey ends here for me at Derby, for us at Derby, sorry, I'll look back then, I think. But in the meantime, you're just constantly walking into the wind. That's what it feels like.
Your first visit to Cambridge with Derby significant. Your second could be significant for different reasons. We'll come back to those later. But you watched them Tuesday night. You went down to Bristol Rovers. What did you make of Gary Monk's team?
Yeah, good. I mean, every professional team's good. So I'm never going to sit here and go, they are horrific. So, but they were good. In fairness, I think they're second in the league defending set pieces after us. So they've got some real strength. They played with like a fluid sort of 3, but on their set pieces, they've got unbelievable delivery and a threat. And I thought Bristol Rovers were really good. I mean, I didn't see the goals. The goal was late on, so I can't tell you about the goal, so please don't ask me. But Bristol Rovers were really good, missed a penalty, but Cambridge were really competitive. So you can just see by, the points we've dropped away from home this year, like, I'm just trying to think of some rascals. Cheltenham, people say Shrewsbury, but now all of a sudden Shrewsbury look all right, don't they? Like football isn't like, you can't look at it like that. You only have to look at the Liverpool and the Arsenal games at the weekend. Every game you play is difficult. Every opposition is difficult. Cambridge's home form's good. They're always good at home. It's a difficult place to play, as is ours in a different way. So I'm expecting a really tough game.
Lee's crying now you've mentioned Liverpool.
That's why I drop it in. I'm sick like that.
Cambridge may have already done enough to stay up. You now know exactly what you need to do to clinch promotion. 4 points from 2 games. Does that change anything? I'm guessing it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. I'd like to come out with some really amazing answer, like some Nostradamus genius or something, but it doesn't change anything. Look, we said at the start of the season, if you want to be successful to the lads, and I've said it in loads of interviews, and I know a lot of people bore with my voice, but if you average 2 points a game, you've cracked it. And if we were to get back-to-back wins, we've cracked it. If you get 4 points, we're too short, but we've done enough. But my experience in life is that life is always a struggle, always a battle. Everything worth getting in life is hard. Nothing's given to you. Nothing's easy. So even if we were to play our absolute best at the weekend, there's no guarantees we're going to win. But even if we did win, that still might not be enough. I still think it will go down to the last game of the season, which is fretful, enjoyable, exciting, all in equal measure. But I still think there's another couple of pages of the book.
I was listening back to your excellent podcast, Moment of Truth, yesterday, because that goes down to the final day of the season, or did go down to the final day of the season. I've asked you a lot of times about sort of coping with the pressure and emotion. Does experience help at all?
Yeah, good one. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's a good question. I wish I had a more definitive answer. I think experience in life helps, doesn't it? I mean, the older you get, I mean, some people will testify to this in the room, you definitely get a little bit wiser. And I also know that, you know, I don't turn up to the game on Saturday like hugely excited about, oh, this is our moment, you know. I'm not that guy. I'll turn up, be exactly the same, we'll be the same with the lads, and be pretty calm. And I know that the game will have ebbs and flows, and I think with experience, you know not to get too excited and start thinking ahead of yourself, thinking, oh my God, if we do go up, then I've got to organise that, I've got to speak to the lads, if I'm releasing any, you don't get like that. You're just a bit more like, hang on a sec, like, just worry about Saturday. So it doesn't mean that I don't get excited or don't get fretful or nervous. Of course I do. I always do on match days. I'm horrific on a match day. But no, I don't think I make any more of the story, really. I just think that we've worked, the lads have worked, the staff, everyone at this football club have worked so hard to get ourselves into this position. But that's all we've done. We haven't given ourselves anything more than a good chance. And I won't ever like think ahead of myself or be too calm. I just think I'm not either extreme, and I've said that all the time. And I like when I lose, weirdly enough, sometimes when I do press after defeat, I'm strangely calmer after defeat than I am after a poor win. So no, so I think we're as a staff pretty calm. We know that there'll still be another couple of hurdles. I read an article today on the BBC website. Alan Shearer was talking about the run-in for the Premier teams, saying how different it is as a player the last few games. So like I said last week, when we drew at Wickham in October, that's a good point. In the end of March, it's catastrophising point. Like, ooh. Not to me, but you know. But Shearer was saying about how the last few games, all of a sudden, every shot that doesn't go in, there's just another rumble in the crowd. Every mistake is like, come on, we've only got 62 minutes left, we've only got 40 minutes left and we don't score. Whereas every other game early in the season, it's not like that. It's a bit calm. So our job as coaches is to just try and keep the lads calm, try and keep them at their very best, obviously, but to try and keep them calm and to try and keep them engaging with the fans, and so the fans keep calm, because that is the thing that I think has taught me not to go into it with this whole chest banging speech about this is literally the best moment of your life. Do not let it slip by. Do not be too hard on the lads. You know, just keep consistent and allow them to perform and give themselves a chance. And I mean, it's a crazy answer, but if we might not get it, we might fall into the playoffs. So there's no point having this massive hit of adrenaline and drop of performance. You've just got to stay consistent, I think, and that's the way we've done it. And hopefully that will be successful again.
Just lastly, on the squad, I saw Joe Ward's had a procedure. How's he doing, and any other updates? He had his procedure. It manifested into a big deal, really. It started off, we thought we could manage it with injections, and that wasn't too bad. And then he had a little floating piece in his knee. So then they went inside to take it out. I'll make it sound like there's 6 people running into his knee, but I don't think it happened like that. But the bit that was floating actually caused a bit of damage, so they had to sort of repair that in the most generic way. And so now he's going to be out for a couple of 3 months. So it's gone from being a very small procedure to being a bigger deal. So his whole off season, he'll be in here, really. So it's a disappointment for him, because he's been, this year, that and the fat pad, we've missed a lot of him. So he's good, but not great, if you know what I mean. Who else is it? Birdie has trained all week, as has Callum Elder, Tom Barkhausen. He's had a slower integration back to training, because we sort of expedited him a bit. So so everyone else is groovy.